Hey, we're going to Ralston 27 back here for yet another wonderful zombie video, and I apologize for the lack of uploads in the last couple of days. I have been moving, life has been crazy, but let's get into the meat of this video. We have the final comic for zombies coming out, number 6, and it was a doozy of one. A little bit of a mind bender for some of those that might be like, what in the hell is going on? Well, don't worry, I got you. I'm the zombie theory guy. I'm able to tell you what the hell's going on in the storyline, so let's explain. What's going on in this one? Well, the timeline might seem a little weird. Our Victus characters end up going into what we assume to be the house at first. Now, I say that because, Richtofen lies. So, why does he lie? You got me, boss. We should be quiet. The kids are asleep upstairs, making us think we're inside Revelations. It would say, okay, we're inside the house. We're nice and safe there. Oh, no. Because if we look at the timeline here on July 4th, 1941, we will read, Richtofen returns to the lab under Alcatraz, where he meets Victus, arriving from the empty Earth with the Chronorium. Upon reading the Chronorium, Richtofen discovers numerous timelines documenting their fates and learns about the blood vials. He would later write on the page, I know what I must now do, ER 4741. Richtofen enters the rift to acquire the blood of Sal and Finn after delivering the blood to his younger self. And recovering the blood vials belonging to Victus, he returns. Victus is placed on ice and kept safe until they are needed next. Now you might go, whoa, that's a lot to unpack, but why he lies about the children unless they're upstairs in Alcatraz, it doesn't make any sense, because what we then see is he travels to go get the blood here. So he leaves that teleporter. This is the best way to keep it straight in your mind. He says, oh, I can't deal with you. When I return, you may go with me and see if we can save all of our lives, yada, yada, yada. He leaves it through the portal. So then he ends up in the empty Earth with himself. Now, I theorized that in the previous comic breakdowns and all that was probably Zombie Richtofen, and it would seem and make sense to be Maxis Zombie Richtofen. So I'm really excited to see that we're kind of connecting these dots here. So very possibly when we saw the cover where it showed two different eye colors of Richtofen, it's showing us that there's both versions of the endgames from Buried involved here, traveling through space and time. The zombie Richtofen, when he's all upset and he got stuck in the body after Maxis says, I'll grant you that wish, and he puts him in the zombie body, has now been guiding the transit crew to get these blood vials, the transit crew blood vials. So he gets them and he's off. So he leaves through the empty Earth, and he ends up in Alcatraz, and then he picks up the 2 blood vials in Alcatraz that he then teleports out of Alcatraz to Origins, where he meets himself. This is Primus Richtofen meeting Primus Richtofen. He's gone back in time to give himself the blood vials we see he has in Origins. Good, this all makes sense. We're still on the up and up. This is where everything goes to shit. When he travels back, he goes back to Alcatraz. So he goes back once more to this cursed prison. I know the rules are different here, perhaps different enough. So that vague, ambiguous phrase is enough to make us all roll our eyes as he enters an elevator or a secret entrance, because as you'll find out, Victus hasn't gone anywhere. They're still initially where they teleported in, unless something happened off screen, which would be annoying. The door opens from some secret entrance, and he says, have you made your decision? They go, yes, we have. And then he puts them inside the cryo chambers, and then right on time, we have our Primus crew show up right after Zetsubo no Shima's ending. So remember when you beat Takio, our crew ends up going to Alcatraz and getting the Victus blood vials. And so Richtofen is waiting for himself and gives him the blood vials, so they have them at the end of Revelations. So at no point in the comic did we end up in Revelations, despite it seeming like we should have. Our characters are now safe in ice under Alcatraz and Mob of the Dead, which we will most likely see in a remake in the next Call of Duty Zombie game. Similar to the Giant add-on, we should have an Alcatraz map add-on where we play as Victus when they wake up. So what I loved about this comic so much was that it connected a lot of dots for us. Holy exposition is the way to talk about it, is that we have Richtofen kind of having some connection to both endings, the Buried ending of Maxis and Richtofen. Our zombie Richtofen was involved in getting the blood vials. The transit crew's story has been wrapped up in a way that will impact us in the future, and all these threads and needles are getting our characters together to interact and to try and solve this crisis. We even saw inside the Chronorium 3 different types of bad guys. Maybe those are future bad guys we'll see, but it is up in the air. We see the Cthulhu ones on the right side, but we also have these red skulls and some other creatures that are similar to what we saw in Broken Arrow, those mutations in the empty Earth, so we don't know what to really make of it all. Now let's get into the loading screen. What I find really interesting is that this loading screen is a continuation of the Weasel. So the Weasel is still writing this journal entry here. He has a new paper that we recognize from Der Eisendrache. When we were sending zombies back in time, they started attacking London, and that's the one saying, "Zombie attack. Parliament gathers an emergency meeting to discuss what's going on." So we have now connected the worlds from Der Eisendrache to Alcatraz, where the zombies were being sent back in this alternate version of an Earth that isn't quite destroyed yet. Now you might go, Reed, how is this weasels? This doesn't make any sense. Maybe they're rewriting history. What's going on? The evidence I have is the razor blade and the toothbrush. That's what he uses to kill Stanley Ferguson, and these are all visions the weasel was having prior when he made his plan. So now he ripped apart the page saying, remember the plan, and he's writing new things down because history has changed in the multiverse. We have the shadows of Edward Richtofen, our premise Richtofen, meeting with Stanley Ferguson. We see them shaking hands. We have the blood vials that we inevitably give to Richtofen, that is in Origins, and so on and so forth. We have Victor's crew on ice down there in those cryo chambers. Now, they don't look exactly like the ones in the comic, but who knows if that's going to be connection. If that's cryo chambers for the Mob of the Dead crew, that would be pretty crazy, and we can't keep keeping all the crews alive. People need to die, all right? This is ridiculous. Then we have Richtofen coming through a teleporter, which is very interesting. Why he's coming through is that him initially coming or coming back to gather the blood vials or to help people. Who knows? But this is the beauty of the interpretation of what is going on inside our comic book. So with all that said, I hope that was pretty clear and concise and to the point. I didn't really want to ramble too much on this one, and I still am getting settled in to all my new life out here because I still have another year of college to go. I am currently locked out of my Patreon account, so I was going to have a Patreon stream today with everybody, but I might have to push that back to tomorrow. And maybe we'll just do that with the World War II beta codes, and we'll do all kinds of multiplayer and all that goodness, if that's how it shapes up. Thank you guys all for the support. I cannot express to you how big a deal it's been with the donations on my streams and on Patreon. I'm so excited to get you all your content and make sure you all have a absolutely wonderful time being entertained by my videos. I cannot thank you enough for your support. We're almost to 160,000 subscribers, which is mind-boggling to me. It's so humbling to know so many care, especially about the zombie storyline and what I have to put out there. I hope to do some new stuff too soon, like PUBG. I'm hoping to get involved in my channel and some other entertaining stuff, because that's what it's all about, is making you guys entertained. I'm Richtofen. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a rating, and I want to know what you make of this comic in the comments down below. I don't do a reading of the comic in respect to the artist, so they can actually get some money for what they do here. That money gets split up a bazillion different ways between Activision, Treyarch, and the artist. So please go support those releases. I only try and show you a little bit so I can discuss and transform their work into something we can talk about. I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.